does my forehead look so big? Hello to whoever is watching this and welcome to my very first YouTube video. I doubt that I will be posting this, but if you do see this, then please be nice to me in the comments. I thought it was a good idea to tier rank every single book that I've read this year. It's not a lot. Well, maybe some of you guys have the same interests as me, like to read the same books. I don't know. All right, let's get started. Before we get started, I guess I should explain my tiers. Starting from the bottom, Lord Voldy on speed dial, 1 star, 0 star, if I could. Next one is What the F Did I Read? Next was, it was cute, you know, the plot was there. I enjoyed it to a point. The next category is Simply Lovely. If you know, you know. And this one is where I was like, you know, I had a great time. Next one is This Is Why I Love Reading. When someone asks me why I love reading, I show them these books. Like, this is why I love reading. Does that make sense? It's the 4.5 star. And then for the S tier is Erase My Memory So I Could Read Again for the First Time. Most people call this a God tier. Favorite books, 5 stars, 6 stars. Honestly, give them all the stars. So the very first book that I actually read this year was Onyx Storm. I had such high expectations for this book. Unfortunately, it did not meet those expectations, but I still had a fun time reading it. Don't get me wrong. It took me like 2 weeks. Yeah, I think it took me like 2 weeks to finish this book because by the middle of it, I felt like it was just dragging, which is why I will put it in, it was cute. You know, I loved Iron Flame and Fourth Wing, so being able to get back to the world of like the dragons, the magic or whatnot, I had a fun time. But it was dragging a little bit. So yeah, I'm not gonna talk much more about that. On to the next one is, okay, I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce that, but Lukov with Love, figure skating book. I heard a lot of good things about this book. I actually started reading it last year, but never finished it. I got like 2 chapters in. Okay, like let me read it again, see how it was. It was great. I loved it. This is why I love reading. Like, this is the type of book where I go, oh, I love reading. Next I read was The Deal, another very popular book that I took way too long to read. I felt there was a lot of hype around it. I'm trying to remember what it was about. I know that there is a TV? I think it was a movie. I know that there's a movie coming out, which is why I decided to pick it up and read it. If I'm going to be honest, I don't really remember what happened. Oh, Hannah, was Hannah an ice fig? No, that was, ooh. See, I'm getting this mixed up with another book that I read, which is right here, Icebreaker. But if I remember correctly, this was a lot better. Where would I rank this? See, I don't know where I would have ranked this. Yeah, when did I read this? Oh, here it is. You know, I would put this in the Simply Lovely tier. I'll leave it at that. Ooh, The Predator. This is going to be an ongoing theme where a lot of books that I read are from recommendations of other people that I see on the internet or like very popular books. Like, okay, I want to see why it's popular. It never really intrigued me, but I saw so many people talking about it. It's like, oh, if you want to get into dark mafia romance, then this is a good starter. And I would agree to a certain point. I actually really enjoy reading dark mafia romance now and then. Like, I have to be in a mood. I'm a huge mood reader. It wasn't a 4 star. It was like a little bit lower than a 4 star if I remember correctly. I've seen so many people talk about Tristan Kane. So I Googled, what book is this man from? Saw it's the book called The Predator. I feel like I would put it somewhere between It Was Cute and Simply Lovely. I'll put in It Was Cute. I liked it. I love it. I liked it. It was alright. This is the rare case where I thought book 2 was slightly better than the first one. So I'll put it in Simply Lovely. The Darkest Temptation. See, reading books like that, you know, I don't have to. Yeah. See, books like that makes me go, oh, maybe I don't like dark romance. I'm just gonna move on to the next one. Icebreaker. This might be a hot take, but I actually kind of enjoyed Icebreaker. I kind of enjoyed it. Listen, I read for shits and giggles. I read books for fun. Like what? It's like watching trashy reality TV show. You know, you just watch it for fun. So I read books just for fun, and that was the case with Icebreaker. The amount of smut that was in this book was crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put this one in What the F Did I Read? What is this? What book is this? Sweet Temptation. Also, in What the F Did I Read? I must have to start speedrunning. I'm yapping too much. Reckless by Elsie Silver. This was my very first Elsie Silver book that I read. I heard a lot about cowboy romance. You know, I'm from Texas, so I'm not into, here's the thing. I thought I wasn't into cowboy romance. Okay, I've seen enough cowboys. So it wasn't something that I was really interested in. It's like, you know what? I was in a book slump. I'm just gonna pick up an Elsie Silver. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, I just remembered. There was a trope in here that, oh my goodness, I almost DNF'd. I almost DNF'd the book. Is it a spoiler? I don't think it's a spoiler. Okay, well, if you haven't read the book, then just skip this part for a little bit. I don't think it's a spoiler. But she gets pregnant. That is like my least favorite trope in a book. So the moment I read that she got pregnant, I went on Reddit and I was like, is this right? Like, is she actually pregnant? Turns out she actually was pregnant. So that was that. But surprisingly, I liked it. You know, I would put it in, it was cute. I had a fun time reading it. The Maddest Obsession. Oh. Twisted Emotions by Cora Riley. This one, oh my gosh. So I was in a mood to read more like dark mafia romance, but I didn't want to trust BookTok, so I went on Reddit instead. And a lot of people on Reddit recommended Twisted Emotions by Cora Riley, and I see why. Thank you, Reddit, because it was too good. It was too good. Oh my gosh. What is this? Twisted Bonds by Cora Riley. I think this was like the 4th book. Okay, so these books, I don't think they're standalones, but I read them like they were standalones. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I have a book journal. I'm looking at my book journal, which kind of like summarizes my thoughts on the book. So yeah, Nino and Kiara, arguably one of like my favorite couples in a dark mafia romance book. I'll put it in, it was cute. Didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, but it was so cute. Oh, next we have Rena Kent. Also my first time reading Rena Kent. I had pretty high expectations for this. I think I'm gonna put it in, it was cute. Lies of My Monsters. Is that the second one? Yes, that's the second one. I did continue, and I did not like it. Moving on to the next one. Heart of My Monster. See, it just went downhill from there. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I had this book on my TBR for like over a year, right? And I never picked it up because I was like, oh, Ali Hazelwood, she's like known for writing like romance. I think this was her first fantasy book. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm glad I read it this year because it was surprisingly a very fun read. Like, I enjoyed reading this so much. More than I thought I would. Ooh, Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Where would I rank this? Yeah, I'll put in Simply Lovely. I actually enjoyed it. Same with Wild Side. I guess I'll put it in Simply Lovely as well. The Wrestling. I've never read a book where the male main character is a professional wrestler. So that was first. Ooh, Lights Out. Again, I was in my dark romance phase and Lights Out was a very popular book. However, I have to put it here in the What the F Did I Read? Because what the F was that book? Moving on. Rule number 5. Ooh, I think this was my very first sports romance that I read this year. I remember I had a fun time reading it. So I will put it in simply, it was cute. It was cute. It wasn't 4 stars, or like a 3.5. I'll put it in, it was cute. God of Wrath, another very popular Rena Kent book that unfortunately disappointed me. This was a pretty intense book, considering that the main characters are in college. Ooh, Deepen by Ali Hazelwood. I know a lot of people hate on this book, but I really liked it. One of my top reads of this year for sure. Ooh, another hockey romance, Unloved. I really like this book. You know, I'm gonna put it here. The Slow Burn. Oh, The Slow Burn. Oh, it was very emotional. I cried a lot. I think I remember I did cry. I cried a lot reading it. It was very emotional. The slow burn was done very nicely. Leave Me Behind. Okay, so this book, the main reason why I read this book is because the cover was very nice. The author herself, I think she drew the cover. This was dark military romance. There were some questionable moments in this book that involved blood, but that's all I'm gonna say. I enjoyed it. You know, dark military, I need more of it. Now that I'm thinking about it, the ending of this book gave me a huge what the F moment. I'm demoting. I'm putting it down. It was cute. Next, I have His Tesoro. I actually don't remember much about this. I just remember not liking it, so we're leaving it there. So the next 4 books, as you can see down here, is the Windy City series by Liz Sanforti. I'm just gonna rank all of these real quick because they're part of a series, right? Yeah. 3 out of 5 of the books in this series in the Erase My Memories so I could read it again for the first time. It's that good. So the thing about Liz Sanforti, she writes sports romance so well. There's just something about her writing that it just makes me want more. It's just so good. I feel like she puts her heart and soul into these books, and I could feel it because I think I cried reading every single book except for Mile High. Mile High wasn't my favorite. I DNF that book. Ooh, next, I think these are in a series. Fractured Souls. Okay, so these next 3 books, honestly, I'm just gonna put in what the F did I read because honestly, that's what I was feeling the entire time I was reading it. Like, what the F did I just read? Oh, Face Off. You know, I don't have much to say about this book, but it was cute. It was cute. That One Night. Ooh, another what did I read? I didn't even read that. That was an audiobook. Yeah, I listened to this one. It's basically just smut. It's not for me, but it could be for you. Bully by Penelope Douglas. See, I want to put this here. But then the more that I think about it, I also want to put it here. It's like between. Yeah, I'm going to put it here. After reading Bully by Penelope Douglas, I don't think I want to read any romance book that takes place in high school. Not much to say. It wasn't that great. Hat Trick. Riley. Oh my gosh, Riley. I actually had pretty low expectations for this book after reading Face Off. I think they're in the same series. Yeah, they're in the same series, the DC Stars. Is that what it's called? You know, I was genuinely surprised on how much I liked this book. I'll put in Simply Lovely. And the last book that I read this year was Alchemize. Top tier. See, a lot of people don't like Alchemize, and I hate that it's being advertised as like enemies to lovers, romance, and there's like high stakes or whatnot. I think there's a lot more to Alchemize than just like the enemies to lovers trope. It's heavy. I've read Manacled, right, which is what this book used to be. So when I read Alchemize, I kind of already knew what was going on, but I still loved it. It was so good. I wish I could read it for the first time again. If I hadn't read Manacle and then if I could choose, I would read Alchemize first. So yeah, that concludes my 2025 tier ranking list. Unfortunately, I've read a lot of not so well-written books, but for the most part, I think it was a pretty good reading year. Hopefully, I will have the motivation to continue filming because I love yapping about books and no one else in my life reads. Thank you for watching, and maybe I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!